Hi, I'm Nancy Bell from Oshkosh Public Library, and this is Book Buzz, where I take one book that's recently been getting a lot of buzz on bestsellers lists, review sites, social media, and then I break it down into definable elements, and then I'll suggest 3 books that have similar themes, writing styles, characters, and overall general vibes. This month, we are talking about Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. Acevedo has won multiple awards for her young adult novels and is known for her moving, realistic stories told in verse. Her highly anticipated newest book, which just came out last week, is her first adult novel. So, Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. It's a story about multi-generational family ties and family secrets, all woven together with magical realism. So the women of the Marte family have certain gifts. Flora's gift is that she can predict the day that someone will die. So when she decides to have a living wake to celebrate her life, her sisters, as well as the rest of her family, don't really know how to react. It also doesn't help that Flora keeps her true motive a secret. So we start 6 weeks before the living wake, and then we dive into the intricate family relationships, mostly through Flora's daughters' interviews of their family. Told through these multiple perspectives, we get to know Flora's sisters and the next generation, as well as their nuanced and complicated relationships to each other as they prepare for Flora's wake. So let's go ahead and talk about the elements of this book. So I said kind of in the very first sentence talking about this book that it's magical realism. It's a more newly recognized subgenre that we're hearing more and more about now. So magical realism, it's a form of fiction that has fantastical elements that are considered normal in the real world, kind of blurring that line between fantasy and reality. So this book is also super character-driven. It's the characters' decision-making that is really driving the plot forward. There aren't really events that are happening to them that they're reacting to, so it's really them themselves that are driving this plot. Along with that, it's really compelling and moving as we're getting to know these characters and know their family. Is this a real wake for Flora? Is she dying? How is everyone else reacting to this news? Also directly a part of that, we're talking about family dynamics with every read-alike that we're going to be talking about today, just because the family dynamics are so integral to this book. So first up, we have The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin. It's a family saga beginning in 1969 when 4 siblings, aged 7 to 13, sneak out to visit a psychic on Manhattan's Lower East Side. Seeing the siblings individually, the psychic tells them one by one the dates they will die. The book is then broken into sections following each sibling in turn, exploring how each person deals with the knowing of their own expiration date and how their experiences are shaped with either their resistance or acceptance of fate. So I think this will be a good read-alike for Family Lore. It has a hint or a nod to magical realism, with the characters, believing and interacting with this psychic, almost making it, a more normalized version of magic in the real world. It's really character-driven. It's how these different characters react to the news and carry on their lives throughout. It's really moving because some of them react better than others. Some of them decide, well, if I'm going to die in this day, I'm going to live my life fast. And so, is it a self-fulfilling prophecy or is it not? It also has so many family dynamics interwoven with it. This one is much more of a family saga, which is where we follow a family for an extended amount of time, usually like decades or generations with one family, which is more than the amount of time we spend with the family and family lore, but it's still very focused on the interpersonal relations of the family themselves. Next up, we have Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rifka Brunt. So sisters June and Greta travel to Manhattan to spend time with their uncle Finn every couple of Sundays. However, it is the younger sister, June, who really feels like Finn is the one person to ever understand her, and he is her uncle, godfather, and best friend. When Finn dies suddenly of a mysterious illness that her family refuses to talk about, June is lost. Until a stranger named Toby mails her a beautiful teapot from her uncle's apartment. And as she begins to get to know Toby, she also begins unraveling family secrets. the truth behind her uncle's relationship with his partner Toby, Finn's death, and the death of many men in the 1980s AIDS epidemic. But more than the discovery of those secrets, her newfound relationship with Toby after a lifelong connection with her uncle is affecting her older sister more than she could ever know. So this one is a little bit bittersweet, with the play of older and younger generations, still revolving on those family dynamics, as well as some sibling rivalry, which relative loves which sister more. And it's those interpersonal relationships that make it really character driven. Beyond the onset, Uncle Finn dies, there isn't really any events that make the plot move forward. It's just the characters' own actions that are making it move forward. This one has that theme that is also seen in family lore, that coping with death element, as well as it's really moving because you're seeing these different characters really struggle with Finn's death and how they react in different ways. And so for all of those things, I think it's going to be a great read-alike if you enjoy family lore. And our final read-alike for today is The Peculiar Miracles of Antoinette Martin by Stephanie Nipper. Two inseparable sisters driven apart by becoming a mother too young. In fact, when Rose becomes a mother to a special needs child who has a form of autism that requires constant care and attention, that is what drives the wedge between her and her sister, Lily. And so, while Rose's daughter has never spoken a word, 10-year-old Antoinette also has a gift, the ability to heal with her touch, which comes at horrible personal price. Rose also has a congenital heart disorder, and it is this illness that leads her back home to the family farm in Kentucky to reunite with her estranged sister Lily, to confront her past and hope her sister will take over care of Antoinette as her own health deteriorates. So this one, I think, will be a great read-alike. It really directly has that magical realism element. Antoinette's healing power is kind of it just slides right into the regular world. Not too much is made of it, at least by her mother. It's really character-driven. We're going through, the mother and daughter working together, coming to terms with her own mortality. And for that, it's really moving. Will these two people come back together? Will they reunite? Will Lily, who was initially, more removed from her niece's life, eventually take over as a sort of adoptive mother, if at its minimum, a guardian? And so we're also playing on those family dynamics of sister-sister and aunt-niece. This one is told through multiple perspectives. It does follow both sisters, Antoinette herself a little bit. We could have used some more Antoinette perspective, as well as a cast of secondary characters, neighbors, friends, etc. And I do just have a slight warning. The ending of this one is very bittersweet, and it can be a tearjerker. Which I don't want to spoil if family lore is or is not this way, but just so you're aware for this one. But if you enjoy family lore, I think you'll enjoy The Peculiar Miracles of Antoinette Martin. And those are the 3 read-alikes I have for you today. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the library's YouTube channel for more content. If you have any suggestions, questions, go ahead, please leave a comment. Or you can always get a hold of me at the library reference desk, which I'll leave a link to down below. Thanks so much for watching, and let's all get back to reading.